A while back ago, I created a video on the top 5 ETFs in my portfolio. But as you probably have noticed, if you've watched the video, there's only one income ETF in that top 5. That's because a lot of my top 5 are around growth, stability, ETFs I've been investing in for 10 years. And so those positions have grown to the point where they're in my top 5, of course. But today we're going to be breaking down 5 of my income ETFs based upon size, going from number 5, which is the bottom of the top 5, all the way to the largest income ETF in my portfolio. We're going to be diving in and talking about some of the strategy to these. We're going to be talking about the yield. We're also going to be talking about why I may be adding these in my portfolio. And we're also going to be talking about, maybe at the end of the video, some other ETFs that are part of this income portfolio that have been adding slowly and they're starting to build upon, and they will become much bigger in the future. All right, let's get to it and let's dive in. This video is purely educational content. It should not be considered personal finance advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and I don't know your financial situation, risk tolerance, or even investment goals. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, and always do your own research and consider consulting with a qualified financial professional before making any investment. All right, let's get on to the video. Hey guys, my name is Steve and I run the Frugal Expat website where we try to help people to save more and invest better. And today we are breaking down my top 5 income ETFs, a part of my portfolio. Now, these ETFs are not the same. They are not the ones that maybe everyone has, like the 4 horsemen. If you want to know about those, I've got a video about that up here. But these are different ETFs that I like, and I've been adding to them each and every week. Or at least I'm trying. All right, let's get down to ETF number 5. Our first ETF is going to be ISBG, which is the Quantify Funds Income Stacked 1x Bitcoin and 1x Gold ETF. Now, I started this position a couple months ago. I was talking with David Chikansky from Quantify Funds, and it just kind of got into me that I should probably be adding a little bit of some Bitcoin, a little bit of gold, and this kind of income stacked ETF kind of makes it work all together. Now, this ETF has been down in the past maybe couple weeks, and so right now I'm just kind of building upon that position. And so when gold and Bitcoin do go back up, then this position is going to go much higher in the future. Now, I have been putting some money into this. Now, this is just the bottom of my top 5, and so it's not the largest position. My income portfolio only makes up about 7 to 8% of my total portfolio, and so these income ETFs are just continuing to build over time. Now, when I talk about income stacked as in 1x Bitcoin and 1x gold, it's going to have 100% exposure to gold, 100% exposure to Bitcoin, and they're using some option overlays on top of that in order to create some income. Now, they do rebalance every day, and they show this throughout their website and also on Twitter, just so then people know what's going on. Now, ISBG does have an expense ratio of 1.14%, meaning it costs about $114 for every $10,000 invested. It's got a dividend yield of about 17.46%, and that kind of fluctuates, but the reason it's 17.4% is because you got half of it's going to be going with Bitcoin, half of it's going to be gold, and so you combine that, you get that 17.46%. So this one is a good one for a little bit of some alternatives. Like if you wanted some gold, maybe you wanted some digital assets like Bitcoin, you could have this one in your portfolio. But I've been adding this slowly, and if Bitcoin and gold do go back up, this will probably supercharge a little bit later on in my portfolio. And so that's good news for me. I'm getting it cheap, and that's the reason I continue to stack it for the future. Our next ETF is going to be chpy, and chpy is the YieldMax Semiconductor Portfolio Option Income ETF. Now, this ETF is from YieldMax, and not everyone is a fan of YieldMax, and that is okay. I think that chpy and Soxy are 2 good ETFs from YieldMax. Now, chpy is going to have a higher distribution rate, which could eat into the NAV later on, and so you just got to be careful when adding this one into your portfolio. You got to be able to watch it. You got to be able to see if you're continuing to do well in the future. Now, I like semiconductors, and it's hard to find some good option income ETFs that are just tracking semiconductors. Now, you got some great semiconductor ETFs like an SMH, a PSI, or even a SOXX. Those are doing really great in this year. Now, chpy is doing pretty good. It's got a good price appreciation that's beating out the NASDAQ. It's beating out a lot of other ETFs, and it's got a pretty good good total return. Now, the distribution rate is going to range from a 30 to almost 45%. Right now, it's sitting at that 40% distribution rate. It pays out weekly, and so that's good news. It's got an expense ratio of about 1.03%, meaning it costs about $103 for every $10,000 invested. Now, this one's got about anywhere between 15 to 30 different companies like a Micron, AMD, Marvell, Broadcom. These could be different companies within the chip sector that's part of this ETF. Now, unlike some other yield max ETFs, chpy actually owns the assets under management, and so you're able to have those. It's going to sell covered calls on top of those, and then it's going to get some return of capital. Now, the return of capital is going to range anywhere from 0% to 100%, just depending on the week. Some weeks it could be 24, 60, 100%. It just depends on how they're distributing those distributions to the investors. Now, just like I said beforehand, chpy is going to be a little bit more volatile, and sometimes if they're bringing in not enough income via options, it's going to possibly eat into the NAV. And so just as a caveat, just to always be watchful of those that have really high distribution rates. Now, if you want maybe an ETF that is like chpy, qqqi could be an ETF like that. It's got a higher price return, but the yield is sitting around that 12%. It's trying to target that 12%. So not every month is going to be 12%, but it's targeting that 12%. And so you're getting two good ETFs right there. Now, in my portfolio, I've got chpy. It's a little bit bigger than ISBG, but smaller than our number 3 on this list. And so this one is one that continues to compound over time as it's paying out weekly. And let's get on to our next ETF. Hey guys, if you really like this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And one of my favorite places to kind of look at different ETFs and stocks, stockanalysis.com. Stockanalysis.com is a great place where you can kind of look at analytics. You can look at comparing one versus the other, like a chpy versus qqqi. You can also look at what the holdings are, the expense ratios, the dividend yield. You can look at so many different things within this app. Now, I have a link in my description and a link in my pinned comments about grabbing a great deal with it. Now, sometimes I'm going to have a good promo code, which may give you a free month. Sometimes it could be 10%. So check out that promo code down in the description and see what you can do with getting stockanalysis.com. All right, guys, let's get back to the video. Our next ETF is going to be OVL, which is the Overlay Shares Large Cap Equity ETF. Now, with this ETF, it's by Liquid Strategies. It was created in 2019. And so what Liquid Strategies is doing is with OVL, they are holding about 100% in VOO. They are selling put credit spreads on top of the SPX or the S&P 500 in order to create income. Now, with put credit spreads, they're a little bit different than covered calls. And so with a put credit spread, what they're doing is they're going to sell a put at one strike price and then buy a put at a lower strike price in order to create that spread. They'll get a credit from that. Now, what your hope is the S&P 500 goes up. And so you'll be able to capitalize on that. And then what Liquid Strategies will then do is close out the position and open another one and create more income. Now, in 2024 and 2025, in the years before 2026, they did quarterly payments, and in 2026 they changed it to monthly payments. And what that did was up the yield amount. The yield was sitting at about 5.5%, and now it's sitting closer to 10.29%. And so you're getting a pretty good distribution yield. You're also getting some uncapped growth with VOO growing, and you're not capping it like a covered call ETF. Now, this ETF has been around for a pretty long time. It's continuing to grow, and this one is a great way where you can get a lot of growth and even some income. And I continue to add to this position because, you know, I like the S&P 500, and I also like getting a little bit income on the side as well. Like VOO is doing about 1.2, 1.3% yield, while OVL is getting that 10% yield. Now, the expense ratio is going to be 0.79%, meaning it costs about $79 for every $10,000 invested. So it's a little bit more expensive than VOO, but you're also getting some of that yield. And so in the future, I hope it would be cool if the expense ratio does come down, but we'll see what happens with that. Now, OVL is one I'm going to continue to add and continue to build for the future. Now, my number 2 ETF on my list is qqqi, which is the NEO's Nasdaq 100 High Income ETF. Now, this ETF came out in January 2024. It's got a distribution yield of around 14%. Now, it does go from 13 all the way to 15%, but right now it's sitting around that 14%. Now, with qqqi, it won the best actively managed ETF in 2025, and this ETF is a great one if you want some exposure to the Nasdaq 100, if you want a pretty good yield, and if you want some growth and a part of a great company like NEOS. Now, NEOS is famous for creating some great income ETFs for investors like you and me. I mean, we've got SPY, qqqi, IWMI, it's got MLPI, it's got some gold, it's got some Bitcoin, it's got some boosted ones. There are so many great ones in this total suite. Now, with qqqi, it is going to sell covered calls on the NDX, creating 1256 contracts. Now, those 1256 contracts are going to have some favorable tax treatment. 60% of the income is going to be taxed at a long-term capital gains and 40% taxed at a short-term capital gains. Now, with this ETF, you're also going to get some pretty good return of capital, and that return of capital is going to range anywhere between 90 to 100%, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. You'll get the final number on your 1099. And I know on their website it's going to have an estimation, but just remember the 1099 is that final number. So with qqqi, you're getting a great exposure to the top 100 companies on the Nasdaq exchange. You're also getting some good volatility, and they're not selling the entire portfolio. They're selling anywhere between like a 50 all the way up to a 90%, just depending on what the market is doing. Now, if the market is soaring and have some huge momentum spikes, they may be selling a lot of out of the money calls in order to keep that from capping their upside and also getting some good premium. Now, qqqi is one of my favorite ETFs. It's one of my first income ETFs I started to invest in, and this is one that I continue to invest and allow it to compound over time. And so this one is going to be one that I keep adding to it, and I really like it. Number 2 is probably where it could be, or it could be number 1 at some point, but this one is one I continue to add in my portfolio. All right, let's get on to our last ETF. Our last ETF is going to be XQQI, which is the NEO's boosted Nasdaq 100 high income ETF. Now, XQQI is my top holding in that top 5 income ETF sphere. It has made it into my top 5 ETFs in my portfolio. And so this one is a good one that I continue to add and allow it to compound over time. Now, a couple things about this is it is a leveraged version of qqqi. So what that means is it's got 150% notional exposure to the Nasdaq 100. And so what it's doing, it's getting 100% to qqqi and creating a long call position, giving you an extra 50%. And so it's going to sell some of those calls on that synthetic long call in order to create more income and the potential for it to skyrocket later on. Now, what that means is if qqqi were to go up 10%, XQQI should go up around 15%. Now, it also does the reversal. So if QQQI were to go down maybe 10%, XQQI would go down about 15%. Now, with this ETF, you're getting around a 20% distribution rate. That expense ratio is sitting at 0.98%, meaning it costs about $98 for every $10,000 invested. So it's a little bit more expensive than all the others. But with this ETF, I have the ability to have some more upside. I also have the ability to get a little bit more yield with that 20%, almost 21% yield with this ETF. And so that's good news. Now, it has only been around since early part of February 2026, so we don't have a full year of information, but it is part of that NEOS family. And so with NEOS, you're getting some great fund managers, you're getting some great ETFs, and so I trust my money with this fund manager. Now, of course, these leveraged funds do have a little bit of risk, and I mentioned some of the risk as in the potential of having some drawdowns. Now, that is always a little bit of a risk to have with these leveraged funds, and I realize that, and so I continue to add to it because I think that this is a great ETF that I could continue to add to my own portfolio. This is going to be a part of creating more and more income for my family later on in the future. I just went over my top 5 income ETFs a part of my portfolio. Now, not all of these are going to stay in my top 5. There are some that I'm adding more to. Like I'm adding more income into TDAX, MLPI, SPCI, and some other ETFs. These ETFs are still a little bit smaller in my portfolio, but I continue to add over time. They will one day possibly become one of my top 5. Now I'll continue to add these until I have maybe enough income where I really don't need to work, and this income from the income ETFs could be more stable than maybe a job, which is something that, work optional is something that could be good for the future, where I could hang out more with my kids, more with my family, and then be able to, just enjoy some of that income. Now, let me know in the comments, what are some of your top 5 income ETFs? I know some of you don't have any growth, and so some of you guys may have just 5 income ETFs. Some may have 10, some may have some others. Let me know in the comments, what are your favorite top 5 income ETFs in your portfolio? And guys, make sure to check out my video up here of my income portfolio. Alright guys, and I'll see you guys in our next video.